Hey guys, what's going on? Mixed by Jocelyn here, back with another video mixed up, and today is part 4 of our series of mixing from start to finish in Logic Pro X. And today we're gonna get our teeth stuck into the rest of the instrumental. Let's get cracking. Boom! Okay guys, cool. So, as you remember, if you haven't watched them yet, please do go back. I will have them linked below. But part 1, part 2, and part 3. Part 1, we talked about the importance of organizing your projects and having everything laid out in a certain way to approach the mix in the best way. Part 2, we did the drum mix. Part 3, we did the bass mix. Now today, part 4, we're going to be getting our teeth stuck into the rest of the instrumental and getting everything mixed in and sounded blended and sounding 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
So let's get started. So the first thing is, as we did in part 1, we went through all of the different sounds and we organized them in frequency and importance. So basically that means that all we need to do is start going through these files and leveling them one by one. But there's a few more steps in between that as well, which we'll get into. But let's get started. Let's pull up the first sound. Okay, cool. So the first sound we got here is like a choppy, top-endy kind of bass, and it's following the same sounds as our actual bass. And it sounds like, to me, it's sort of like designed to enhance the bass and give it a little bit of flavor. So let's line it up and let's mix it in with the bass. I'm just going to do a top and tail with our EQ, as always. Making sure we don't chop out any of the actual sound, just sort of getting rid of any unnecessary parts. Bring in our bass. Blend it in. Gonna add a bit of compression. Help level it out and give it a little bit of edge to pop above the bass. I'm going to use the Pro C2. Bring the threshold down and start to get a bit of reaction from the compressor. And I want it to be really tight and punchy. So we're going to lower the attack and lower the release. And then I'm going to push the gain up a little bit. Just a touch. Okay, that's sounding good. Okay, next sound. Let's loop that section. Always bringing the sound up with the mix being played, then our solo and do all my sculpting, maybe a bit of compression, then finish it up. That's pretty much the process that we're going to be following for the whole mix. A nice little paddy synth. Now with stuff like this, like less is more, you know, just small amounts of EQ. And then once we've kind of done the bulk of the mix, we might go back and do fine tuning, fine tweaks on all these sounds. That's nice. And then we're going to use just a bit of compressor that I like to use on sounds like this, the Tube LA2A. Just warm. I like how it sounds and I like what it does to it. Get some peak reduction. Looking for about -3 dB peak reduction. Too much. An average. Pull up the volume a bit. Okay, nice. And then from there, this is a new technique I want to add a Pro Q3 on, and I'm basically going to do a mid-side EQ where I'm focusing in on a particular section of the sound to open it up because I want it to be wider. So there's certain sounds that I'll hear that I can see, I can be like, okay, I can push that out, make the song sound a bit wider and leave a little bit more space for the vocal to sit in. So keeping that mid-range relatively empty for things like the bass, the kick, the vocals, things like that in that mid-range and the low mid and the mid-range in the stereo field. So let's pull that out and I'll show you exactly what I mean. So we get the main body of the sound here, this mid-range 500 to 1K, and I pull down here and then I come over to where it says stereo and I click mid. Now that's just removing all of the mids, not the whole stereo field, just the mids of that particular sound. And then we can do the same again and we can basically replace what we took away from the middle and put it on the side. So essentially what we've done is we've taken the middle section of the sound and just pushed it out to the side, making it feel wider and giving it a space for the vocals to sit in. And you can be as extreme or as subtle as you want with this technique. Whatever sounds best to your ear. Next sound, just getting through this. Okay, a little bit of a bounce. Top and tail in as always. Making sure that we're creating enough headroom, just keeping the headroom going. And then again, I'm going to use that same compressor on this. You'll find as we do the bulk of the mix, we're using a lot I use a lot of the same tools just to make my life easier, make it faster, and you know, they're reliable and I know what they do and I know what they sound like. That being said, I am going to use a different compressor on this because I feel like that compressor is rounding off the sound a little bit too much. So I want a bit more control over the attack and release. So I'm going to use an 1176, which I have obviously the attack and release dials here. So I can make it a little bit tighter. So we're going to go a ratio of 1/8 and we're going to push up our input. Quite a fast attack and a very fast release. And we're going to pull out down our output. Okay, nice. That's sounding good. Next sound. Okay, this is just a little stabby sound, just an accent normally to go along with, in Amapiano they have like a traditional like sax stab that goes along. So this sounds like it's sort of like to not replace it, but like give it, to back it up a little bit. So we're gonna just tuck everything in, as always. Solo. Get our LA28. Little bit of compression, smoothing everything out. Nice. Next sound. Keep it moving. I just want to listen to what this sound's doing as well. Okay, so there's our main sax line. So we're going to do this one first. Cool. So as I was saying earlier, this like repetitive sax line that goes through the whole record. Taking out a little bit of the air. Let's keep a lot of the air in there. In fact, I'm going to put a shelf on and just boost it a little bit. Make it a bit brighter. And then with this, I'm going to try this technique that I like on horns sometimes. I don't know how good it is on sax, but we're just going to have a listen. So if you hold shift down and hit and have 4 highlighted and then 20, all of the ratios go in, and it's like a combination of every ratio on top of each other. And it can sound quite cool and effective on brass instruments. You get that like real aggression and saturation. It does sound nice to me. I quite like it. Tuck it into the mix a bit. Yeah, that sounds nice. Next sound. Okay, nice. Another just repetitive hit. Too much away. Open it up a bit. Bit of compression. And with this, just because I feel like everything's coming out of the center a little bit and I want a bit of movement, I'm going to just see what a tremolo sounds like on it. Stereo tremolo. Lower the rate down to maybe like 1/1 and then lower the depth so it's not like pinging all the way left and all the way right, just more subtly. Let's see what that sounds. Nice. I don't want it to be distracting to the ear. I don't want your ear to be pulled to it, but I just want it to move a little bit and just create a little bit of space in the record. Next sound. Same again, just backing up that sax line. So we're going to EQ this. A lot of the same sound in this record. Not same sound, but same purpose. Don't want that poking out too much. It's a little bit jarring, but yeah. Next sound, this little loop here. Okay, so this is like a little melody that comes at the end of every 4-8 bars or so. So I want this to stick out. It's like a rounded sound to sort of like round off that phrase or round off that section. Nice. Keep a lot of the air in there, bring a bit of air in. Actually, gonna leave that there. I'll show you how I would, another way of bringing air in. Let's do the 1176 this time because I want it to be a bit tight. We'll do a 4/, pull up the input, get some gain reduction happening. And then I'm gonna leave the attack fairly slow because I want it to be so slow that the sound has a chance to cut through. So it sounds a bit punchy, like we're not just grabbing the transient straight away, but we're going to do quite a fast release. So it's like a punchy feeling, almost like how we would compress a kick. And then we're going to blend this in. That sounds nice. Let's be brave with it and keep it there. That's nice. Next sound, I think that's sounding great. So these are like the main chords that run through the whole song. So we're gonna get our EQ. Tuck it in either side. Get our LA2A compressor, give it a bit of compression. balance out those chords, give it a pumpy feeling. Bit more volume, and then we're going to do the same again that we did, that mid-side technique, and we're just going to open this up. We're going to be a bit more extreme now, so we're going to duck down right where the main body of the sound is with the mids, open up the Q, and then we're going to do the exact same on the top. Open up the Q, change that to sides, and you can hear, if I A-B it, you'll hear it like collapse in. See how I get center? And then open. So that's where we're widening the song and also giving the vocalist the space to perform, and it's not like competing all for that same pocket of the record. And let's just hear how that like plays in. Yeah, sounds good. Power from the log drum. Okay, nice. Maybe just a little bit more volume from this main sound. Sounds like everything sort of skips in a bit. Okay, nice. Sounding great to me. So for today, that's where we're going to leave it. I don't want these videos to be too long. I want you to be able to digest the information and then start learning the techniques for yourself. The next week, we're going to finish up the rest of these instruments, and that'll be part 5. And then part 6, we're going to be starting the vocals, which will be like a 2-part thing. And then we'll probably do one more part where we look at the whole mix as a whole and just how to sort of like round it off and finish it and basically get it ready for mastering. So if you've liked this video, please give it a like. If you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure you subscribe. As I said, this is part of a series. We're going to be releasing videos weekly. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And as well, hopefully this week I'll be having a special extra video, a 2-part, where I'm going to be talking about my first platinum plaque and how I got it and what it means to have a platinum plaque as well. So make sure you subscribe, keep an eye out for that video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Safe. Boom.